Portuguese live class here on our channel. Today we will teach you in Portuguese passado imperfeito, imperfect past in Portuguese. Did you know that in Portuguese? Let me just see if it is working. Okay, it's working. I always need to see if it is working in the class. So, in Portuguese, we have imperfect past and also perfect past. Last class, I've recorded a class just about the perfect past. So, I would recommend you watch it before because this is your first step to identify what is imperfect past in Portuguese. Be welcome, seja bem-vindo, okay? Talking about the imperfect tense is used to describe things or events in the past, to talk about the continuous or prolonged actions in the past, and to talk about habitual and repeated actions in the past. In a nutshell, I would say like habits. We use a lot this tense to talk about habits. We have some examples at the end of this class and you will see that it's habits, like when in English you say, I used to work with my family. It's a habit in the past. We use a lot this tense to talk about our habits in the past. But we have some exceptions, of course. It's Portuguese. For example, let me read here for you. And try to read with me for you practice your pronunciation here. Quando eu era criança, when I was a kid, a child, eu morava no Brasil. Quando eu era criança, era comes from the verb ser. When I was a kid, eu morava no Brasil. I lived in Brazil. Here in English, I also could use when I was a kid, I used to live in Brazil. Both ideas. This is the idea of the example. We are talking about the extended action in the past tense. We don't know the exact moment that it started and we don't know how long it takes, but we know it was in a moment in the past, like a habit that the person had in the past. So, talking about verbs in Portuguese, I will teach you how to conjugate verbs here in this tense. In Portuguese, we have three kinds of verbs. Verbs that ends in ar. For example, here is morar, to live. But falar, amar, nadar, andar, for example, all those verbs follow the same standard for you to conjugate it. For example, we add this ava at the verb morar, morava, eu morava. For example, let me read the example here on my slide. Eu morava no Brasil. I used to live in Brazil. It was a habit in the past. I don't know when it started and I don't know when it is finished. It's like just an action in the past. Another, and talking about conjugations, you will see that eu, você, ele, ela, you, he and she and I, it's always the same conjugation. So, eu morava, você morava. How is he, she? Ele morava, ela morava. Pay attention, it's not so hard to conjugate this verb because the same conjugation we use for four people. Me, you, he and she. Você morava. You used to live in Brazil, but I could change você for he. Ele morava, ela morava. Now the plural now it could be harder for you. Nós morávamos here. Pay attention that there is an accent on the letter A here. And you need to stress on this syllable. Morávamos. Nós morávamos no Brasil. We used to live in Brazil. The plural now, you guys, they. Vocês moravam. And you need to stress on the last syllable in this conjugation. It's nasal sound here. Moravam. Vocês moravam no Brasil. You guys, they use it to live in Brazil. But let's use other verbs here for you see that it's easy to conjugate. Eu morava, falar, falava. Eu falava, você falava. How do she use to speak? Ela falava. How do he use to speak? Ele falava. Easy. Nós, we used to speak. Nós falávamos. And the plural. Eles falavam. So, you can conjugate all the verbs with this same standard. Let's see the other part here. The verbs that ends in er. Here I have comer. Comer is to eat. But also we have beber, to drink, escrever, to write, responder, to answer. It's the same idea. We, instead of using ava, we use ia at the end. For example, comer, eu comia. I use it to eat. Eu comia comida brasileira. I use it to eat Brazilian food. And the same conjugations of you, he and she. Você comia. Ela comia. Você comia comida brasileira. You use it to eat Brazilian food. There is a lacking a space here. Plural now. We add íamos. Comer, comíamos. Nós comíamos comida brasileira. We use it to eat Brazilian food. But let's use other verb like beber, to drink. Eu bebia, você bebia, ele bebia, ela bebia. And the plural, nós bebíamos. And pay attention. There is an accent in the I on the second syllable. You need to stress here. Comíamos, bebíamos, escrevíamos. And the conjugation of the they. Vocês comiam comida. They use it to eat. Comiam. Nasal sound and you need to stress the last syllable. Comiam. Another. Bebiam. Okay? And the same idea like comia, ia, we add to the verbs that ends in ir. Here we have to watch. Assistir. I use it to watch. Eu assistia. So, other verbs that ends in ir. Abrir. Abrir is to open. I use it to open. Eu abria. How do be you, he and she? Você abria. Ele abria. Ela abria. Always the same standard here. It's easy. When you learn how to conjugate it becomes pretty easy. So, let me read the conjugations here. Eu assistia a televisão. I use it to watch television. Você assistia. You use it to watch. Nós assistíamos. Remember, we need to stress the second syllable. Assistíamos a televisão. We use it to watch television. Open. Nós abríamos a janela. For example, we used to open the window. The plural now, they. Vocês assistiam a televisão. You guys used to watch television. Assistiam. Remember to stress the last syllable. Assistiam. Abriam. For example, abriam. Abriam. So, a tip for you. For you, don't forget it. Let me see if I can write here on the slides. Yes, I can. I will do it in live, okay? If you are watching it now, I'm preparing it in the same moment. So, what is the idea? Take a note, okay? Take a pen and a piece of paper, a notebook, and verbs that ends in ar, like falar, amar. We add this ava. Falava, amava. Another nadava, for example. Let me see if you can see. Yes. Other verbs that ends in er and the ear. We we put this ia. Let me write here, ia. For example, beber, bebia, eu bebia. Ir, assistir, assistia. Eu comer, comia. Abrir, that is to open, abria. It's always the same standard, okay? So take notes and try to write some verbs on this notebook, or try to write here for me on the comments on the video that I can correct it for you, okay? It will be a pleasure. Try to correct it and help you with Portuguese. Let me know if you liked this class. If it is useful for you, let me know here in the comments. Give a like in the video if you liked the video. And remember, every week we have classes, live classes here, but all the classes stay recorded on our channel. So follow also our Instagram. Every day we post the content there, grammar, vocab, Brazilian memes, life in Brazil also. And subscribe on our channel because every week we have classes here. And here also on the description, you also can schedule a free demo class with a private native teacher from Brazil. Yes, we offer you a free trial class. If you want to see how our classes are, if you are curious to see it, also you can do a test with your Portuguese. Just click on the link and we can schedule it today, if you are available, okay? I will say it in Portuguese. Muito obrigado. Thanks a lot if you have watched it. And if I have helped you, let me know in the comments, okay? Muito obrigado e